Hey, what's up, Thrive Tribe? It's Teresa Aline. It is Monday. It is 8:30, which means it's time for Conversations with Teresa. And I'm your host, Teresa Aline. I am, as always, super excited to be here. So tonight, we got a good one for you. So here's somewhat of a question, somewhat of a statement. If you've been feeling like life is pulling you 100 different directions, it's likely because it is. There's so much that goes on in just a day. Forget the day. There's so much that can go on in just an hour. We got work, we got kids, we got aging parents, we have aging selves, right? We got bills, we got health to contend with. Our mental capacity sometimes is just not there, right? And these could be all issues we are dealing with before we get even out of bed in the morning. And if you're feeling any of this or all of this, what I want you to understand is that you are not alone. This stage that you're in or you're coming into, this perimenopause or this menopause or this midlife or this reinvention, it can be messy, but it can be beautiful. It can be confusing, but it could be powerful. And it could be all those things all at once. So I want you to understand this, that it is okay. Today, I want to offer you 5 simple ways to reclaim your power this week without needing a big overhaul. It's just shifts with a huge impact. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. All right. So the first one, my husband has this funny thing. He's 1 or 2. He's just joking around. But anyway, say 1. It is no without guilt. All right. So being able to reclaim your boundaries and your time. So let's start with the power of no. You don't have to say yes to every invitation or every task or every favor. So for example, after work, your coworkers may ask if you want to hang out after, or even if it's Friday night. Or maybe a family member calls and says, hey, can you babysit this weekend? Or maybe it's your kids. Ma, can you bring me to Target now? Because I forgot to get something earlier and I need it for tomorrow, you know? And it's not that you don't want to hang or you don't want to serve or you don't even want to give to your kids, but they don't know all that you've been through in the day. They don't know what you've been carrying, your load physically or mentally. You may not even have had the chance to process your day. That's me. That tends to be me. I process things a little bit later. Sometimes my husband has to tell me what I'm feeling, right? So I want you to understand, like, saying no is not necessarily a rejection. A lot of times it's just a self-respect, that you respect yourself enough to be able to say no. So here's what I want to challenge you to do or encourage you to do. This week, I want you to choose one thing you usually say yes to. Maybe it's out of guilt, maybe it's out of habit, or maybe it's out of fear of a consequence. And then I want you to pause and just ask yourself, is this a yes to me? Or is it a yes to someone else's expectation? And I have heard this comment where it says that no is a full sentence. And that may or may not feel right to you. That may not or may not be your style or approach. But I do want you to accept the fact that no is an option that you have. And let it come out of you how it needs to come out of your mouth and your heart. You've got to be okay with it. But most of all, let it leave you with the peace that you said, I say no, and I'm okay with that. Not a attitudinal or anything like that. Sometimes it will take practice, and that's fine. But practice no, however it feels great to you, so that you can have that peace. All right. All right, let's move on. We're going to number 2. We're talking about moving our body with intention. All right. So movement equals energy equals empowerment. All right. When we get a chance to move, it is it can be really incredible. And one of the things about movement is that when if it gets taken away from you, right? If you're not able to move, let's say you're sick or you break your leg or whatever, we can appreciate it so much more, but right now we get a chance to choose, right? So I'm not saying that we are going to sign up for some 90-day boot camp. Maybe that's you, that's not me, right? I've shared with you plenty of times before that going to the gym is not my thing. But what I'm saying is something like put a song on that you love and move to it and groove to it, right? You can dance in your kitchen, your living room, your bedroom, whatever, but just moving. Or maybe you've been thinking a lot about, I'm going to take a hot yoga class. Again, those things don't necessarily hot in yoga. Maybe it works for you. It's not necessarily my thing, but it might be your thing. What I have been practicing in the morning for me is like a full body stretch before I even get out of bed. So, like, I'm laying in the bed, my alarm has gone off, turned off my alarm, and I'm just laying in my bed and I'm stretching and I'm moving my legs and moving my arms and things like that, right? And it helps me. It helps my blood to get pumping. And I found that when I do those stretches, I'll stand up and I'll try to, get to the ground as well, just kind of hang my body there. It helps me just to move, just to get down the stairs a lot easier. And so those things help me to feel good. It helps me to want to get out of bed, right? Because if I know I'm going to get out of bed and everything's hurting and it stays hurting, then, there's not a whole lot of for that. But when we move our bodies, we shift our energy. You shake off what's stuck and you tap into joy. You tap into the opportunity to feel so much better, even if it's 5 minutes a day. Stretch, walk, move. It reminds you I'm still here and I'm still in charge. I get a chance to make that decision. So you get a chance to make that decision. Movement is a powerful, powerful medicine. So let's not sleep on that. All right. You guys ready for number 3? Speak kindly to yourself. All right. So we have to interrupt this inner critic that we have. Some of us have spent years being our own worst critic. Forget years, how about decades, right? Or maybe our entire life. Who has time for that now? It's heavy, it's burdensome. So let's stop that right now. We're not doing that. I don't know if you guys can see my shirt. I'm going to say, it says, not today, Satan, not today. All right. Because, you can get up in our heads. We're not doing that today. We're not doing that this week. We're not doing that this month. All right. So this week, what I want to strongly encourage you to do is to replace one negative thought with the truth. So, for instance, it may say, instead of saying, I look so tired, right? Because we can look at ourselves and be like, I'm not looking at all that today. So instead of saying, I'm so tired, or I'm looking so tired, saying, I'm showing up anyway. What strength do I? I got such strength that I'm going to show up no matter what. All right. Or maybe it's like, I should be further along in this. Listen, this is real, right? I've been trying to learn one particular thing for the last couple of weeks and really master it. And I have been feeling like, there's nothing, it's not going the way that I want it to. And it's just there, right? And so I had to have, other people just kind of saying, but don't you know more than what you did the day before? And didn't you get further along than that? Because last week you didn't know all of this stuff. All of those trials and all of those mistakes really helped me to grow. So instead of saying I should be further along, what I should be saying and what I have been saying is I'm learning and growing every day. And I am, whether it's through the mistake or through the victory, I am learning and growing every day. So you can say that about yourself. You can say, you know what? I didn't stretch yesterday, but you know what? I took 5 minutes to stretch today. One of either any of those things can work. And so I want you to speak life to yourself. You deserve to hear it, and you deserve to hear it from you first. All right? Sound good? All right. Number 4, do one thing that is just for you. Just for you. All right? So put yourself back on the priority list or put yourself on your own priority list. Maybe you've never been there before. All right. So think about what's something small but special you can do this week just because it brings you joy. Not for your kids, not for work, not for your spouse, not for your parents. It is just for you. One thing that I like, you know, I can't always say that it's the healthiest thing, but do you guys know the snack Crunch and Munch? I love me some Crunch and Munch. And so I don't find it very often. And when I do, I make sure that I buy it. And I'll buy some for the family, but I buy a box for me and maybe a box for Carl. And we enjoy it, right? But that is just one of the things. I don't eat a lot of uh candy or sweets or things like that, but Crunch and Munch just has a special place in my heart. So whatever it is that has a special place in your heart, find that thing and do it for yourself this week. So it could be Crunch and Munch. It could be sitting in silence. It could be journaling. It could be having a warm cup of tea. Whatever it is, find it and make sure that you take advantage of it. Because when you give to yourself first, you pour from overflow and not from exhaustion. And that's a powerful place to be. All right, we're coming in for the stretch. Number 5, reach out to someone who sees you. All right, we want to connect on purpose. So we reclaim power through connection. And this week, what I want to encourage you to do is to text someone, to call someone, one person who lifts you up. There are a lot of people, for no fault of their own, but they take from you, right? They draw from you. But I want you to reach out to someone who pours into you, who sees you, who reminds you of who you are. All right. So don't wait for a crisis to reach out for your community. Sometimes a quick just, hey, I'm checking in is enough to open up a heart to heart. And if you don't have that person right now, maybe you might start by being that person for someone else. Or you can give me a call. How about that? All right. So I want to wrap things up tonight together by saying you don't need a new year or a new job or a big plan to reclaim your power. Just a new intention, a new moment, and just a new decision. And if any of this resonated with you, any of it, what I'd love for you to do is share with a friend and be sure to follow me at teresaaline.com or on Instagram at Thrive with Teresa. All right. So I'm sorry. Look at me. Brain fog. Follow me at teresaaline.com. And I want you to remember you are not broken. You are becoming. So let's go ahead and thrive together. I look forward to seeing you guys throughout the week. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to thriving with you. So until we meet again, let's thrive together. Peace out.